Harry Pelt, and I was just like, "That's
who's
fucked."
number 2?
Am I number 2?
Orange.
Who's number 3?
I'm number 3.
You know who's number 1? America.
America.
They're number 1 in they're number 1 in incarceration.
Yeah,
and they're number 1 in what else?
I looked up one where it was our states compared to like countries, and Nebraska is like just above Turkmenistan, which is apparently the North Korea of Central Asia. So
the North Korea, we're better than the North Korea of Central Asia in regard to incarceration.
America.
welcome to Side 1, Side B. I'm Dave.
I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean.
And today we have...
I'm Jacob. I am him.
I am the one who is the Jacob.
I am him. Oh man,
This is going to
No
be
one
a
will
long
arrest
one.
you. No one will arrest you until Steve kisses you.
oh Judas,
Judas.
you betray me.
Anyways,
All right.
Well, so what's the scoop here, fellas?
let's scoop poop.
Today we are going to listen to some really sad music and try not to engage in any self-harm while we do it. What do you guys know about Joy Division?
An awful lot, actually.
I know very little about them, actually. I think I hear, or maybe I assume that they are, am I correct in saying proto-goth?
Yeah, proto-goth or post-punk or both.
Whoa.
Probably both.
Where post-punk ends, proto-goth starts.
Yeah.
Where,
They're like the bridge between...
or is it the other way around?
they're like the bridge between the Sex Pistols and Bauhaus would be a good way to look at them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I would say there wouldn't have been a lot of post-punk, or if it wasn't for Joy Division, because they kind of started that stripped down sound with, like, you know, because you said you heard Love Will Tear Us Apart, that
Yeah.
you know.
Love will tear us apart, Lisa.
I heard that movie. There was a movie called Wrist Cutters, a love story with Patrick Fugit and the gal from The Dark Knight, and even Tom Waits has a cameo. And
Oh, nice.
I've seen that movie.
The guy
is that the one where the guy
Job
kills himself and he goes
to
and hell is
the
just
afterlife.
The same?
Yeah, it's like a shittier version, grayer, hotter version, boring version of life.
Yeah.
Or well, back in 2007 or whatever when it came out.
That sounds awesome.
What I wouldn't give for the I'm totally joking, but that song comes up a lot in that movie. That movie is very good, by the way. I highly recommend it.
What was it again?
It's called Wrist Cutters.
Wrist Cutters. I've
Yeah,
never
it's a
heard of it.
solid 2 out of 2 in my view.
I think I saw that one when it came out.
Yeah, it's good. Tom Waits is in it. He's hilarious.
Tom Waits is great in every movie.
Mm-hmm. I can't think of a bad Tom Waits movie. Can you?
I'm sure he's been in a bad movie, but I'm sure he did a good job in the bad movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I first heard Joy Division actually it was on I used to listen to Pandora. Like I put on like the Pixies station and they would do like random songs, and first song I heard was She's Lost Control.
Good one.
Live, actually, though. It was a live version of it. Which I kind of I think maybe because I heard it first, I do like live versions of some of their songs better than the recorded version.
Yeah,
because it has more energy. But
we'll get into that some, I think. Yeah.
But like that's also a key of like what the sound is of Joy Division's recording sessions. They kind of. Yeah. But yeah, so like that was the first song I heard, and then I'm like, okay, I guess I like that. And it like got stuck in my head because it's like she's lost control. I'm spoiling the album.
Yeah. I don't really, what was I going to say? When you guys say post-punk, can we clarify to the listener what groups classify as post-punk?
Yeah. The post-punk would be the bands that started out within the punk scene or came together just after the punk scene that were influenced by it, but were doing more like moody or arty music than what the UK punk scene was. Like some examples of other bands other than Joy Division who did that kind of thing would be like The Cure, Susie and the Banshees, Magazine, Public Image Limited.
Does like Birthday Party and the Bad Seeds kind of fit into that category?
Especially Birthday Party.
Okay.
Yeah,
definitely.
All right, cool.
Killing Joke.
Killing Joke.
I've never really heard Killing Joke.
Oh, we should do one of theirs.
Yeah,
we do. I have Nighttime on vinyl, and I'm planning on doing that because that has the song that has a Nirvana song on it.
What Nirvana song?
80s.
80s. The song 80s came out before Nevermind, and the riff sounds like Come As You Are.
Oh, Kurt.
But
they didn't want to release it as a single because they were nervous that people would.
However, there's a song by
The Damned.
The Damned, yes, that came out before 80s that sounds a lot like 80s.
And I have that record on vinyl too, so we might just do 3 episodes in a row with Strawberries by The Damned, Nighttime by Killing Joke, and Nevermind by Nirvana, so that we listen to the same song 3 times. Or the same riff. Yeah.
Those things are bound to happen. There's only 12 notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little, but there's little deviations between. They just have the same kind of tone.
Yeah.
And like they start out with the dun-dun-dun-dun, like, you know, dun-dun-dun-dun. But yeah.
Well, I know that Kurt Cobain is very original, but if you listen close enough, you can really hear his influences. That's not a dig on Kurt Cobain. I hold him in high regard. Yeah. Oh man, I was in a guitar lesson the other day, and I said, Siri, how old would have Kurt Cobain been today? And she goes, Kurt Cobain would have been 27 years old. And I was like, oh, God. That's pretty dark, Siri. Come on.
Forever 27.
Forever 27, yeah.
Well, speaking of Kurt Cobain, this band also had a singer that killed himself.
Influence. One of his influences. Yeah. Kurt Cobain's influences.
Although Ian Curtis was a lot younger. I think he was like 22.
Yeah, and they had the same syllable. Yeah. Curtis, Kurt Cobain, Ian Curtis.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, Ian Curtis. Well, he might have. I don't know. I think he was like in his early 20s. He wasn't quite 27.
I hope this isn't too dark for our podcast, but what was Ian Curtis's method?
He hung himself while listening to The Idiot by Iggy Pop.
Whoa. I'll never listen to that song the same way again. And I'm going to make sure that I'm seated.
23.
Oh, he was 23.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Damn.
That was so long ago. From my perspective, when I was 23.
Well, he was. It was in 1980. He killed himself. So he killed himself. Like they hadn't released their second album yet. It was already in the can though. It was about to be released, and they were about to do their first USA tour.
Yeah,
and he was having major issues with his wife.
Yeah,
and so the Love Will Tear Us Apart is kind of based off of his
failing marriage.
His failing marriage, you know, like the bedroom's so cold, you know. Jeez. And then so yeah. I mean, knowing the outcome of the band is kind of really oh my God, that's why it's so down and but it's kind of funny looking at pictures of them because they sounded goth, but they didn't look goth.
No.
They looked like working class kids from Manchester because that's what they were.
Yeah.
Like Ian Curtis was like a civil servant, and like, have you ever heard of the legendary Manchester Sex Pistols show that like only a handful of people were at, but everyone who was there started a band?
Yeah, they were out there.
Yeah, like all the members of Joy Division, like the members of the Buzzcocks and Magazine, especially Howard Devoto, who was in both. He was the original lead singer for the Buzzcocks, who quit after their first EP to go to college, and then formed Magazine, which was basically like a prog band with cheap instruments and playing prog like it's punk. They're one of the better post-punk bands too. I'll probably do their real life album on the podcast at some point.
I've never listened to them at all.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Yeah, and then Buzzcocks are also part of that Manchester scene. They are the best pop punk band. They did like Beatles pop, just straightforward as punk songs. And
The Buzzcocks.
yeah,
Yeah.
really good at it.
Before.
They did Ever Fallen in Love and Orgasm Addict and Boredom. Yeah.
I thought
Orgasm and what is it called? Orgasm Addict and Boredom.
Yes.
Those
two
are
different songs. Yeah.
Two different Joy Division songs.
Oh no, Buzzcocks.
Oh,
Yeah.
Buzzcock.
those two things kind of
Yeah.
they might be related.
Yeah. But yeah,
I thought I was an orgasm addict, but it turns out I
You
was
are
just
an
really bored.
orgasm addict.
yeah, Manchester, London was a vibrant cultural center, and so like the London punk scene was like kind of like
Right.
immediate and just like full of like energy and excitement. Manchester was a depressing factory town.
Oh, just like my favorite band, Black Sabbath, from the depressing factory town of Birmingham.
Yeah.
That's what England just sounds like. It sounds like London and then depressing factory towns.
Like Liverpool was a shipping town or something like that. Like,
Yeah.
And tell the Beatles, put it on the map.
Yeah.
And so like a lot of the people in the punk and post-punk scene in Manchester were a little bit older, and like they were like 23 and not 17. Although they started like they were at that first Sex Pistols show and were on the first stage. It just kind of took them a while to get going.
Yeah, and actually, they actually started out as a punk band, and they have some recordings, but their original name was actually Warsaw.
Yeah,
And
they had to change their name because there's another band called Warsaw Pact, which is a really good band, and I wish they had caught on more. But yeah, so they changed their name to Joy Division after the brothels made up of Jewish prisoners in the concentration camps. So they were young and edgy and making references to the Holocaust. They said that they were doing it to take the sides of the victims, but it's also is kind of inappropriate, kind of like the song Final Solution by Perubu, which we listened to a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because like they didn't really learn their lesson with that either, because the next band after Ian Curtis killed himself was called New Order.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of a reference to the Nazis.
Jeez. 0 for 2.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What they will say is they saw a headline about something that was unrelated to the Nazis that said a new order when talking about like some political regime somewhere. They're like, oh, we're a new group, we're a new order. And,
But that's kind of the history. Like you said, they were at that Manchester show. They started the punk band Warsaw, and they actually did record some stuff under Warsaw.
Yeah.
And I think it was released later after, because they only actually did 2 albums.
Yeah.
And they had a couple of singles.
Yeah. Like the Warsaw stuff was on like the Ideal for Living EP, and it sounds more like standard punk. Steve has heard one of those songs because it was on a punk compilation. You remember the Joy Division song that got you banned from Reddit?
I'm not telling that story again.
No,
but...
yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Oh, God.
So someone on Reddit was in denial about the Nazi origins of the term Joy Division. and Steve got in an argument with him.
I didn't even get an argument with him. I posted the link to the punk comp. The mod of the New Order subreddit said that we must have like a sixth sense of humor or something like that. I forget exactly what he said. And then I asked him to elaborate on it, and then he just banned me. And then I tried to bait him into coming to our subreddit to explain himself, and then he just reported to me to Reddit for harassment, and I got banned from the entire site.
Oh, whoa.
How dare you talk about Joy Division's Nazi origins?
Yeah.
And then I could tell he visited my website like 3 times, so I don't know if he
you have your own-
realized that I don't know, whatever.
I don't know. Yeah.
You have your own personal stalker.
Yeah. Well, that was a long time ago, and
He could be outside masturbating right now.
we do better.
Or even in the house.
Yeah. We do better numbers.
Or maybe it's me.
On the couch.
Maybe it's Maybelline.
We do better numbers now than when we posted on Reddit anyway, so it's not like we really needed it. But
Fuck Reddit.
yeah.
Well, I think a big reason I got banned is because I would post links to the podcast in a bunch of subreddits. So I think, I don't know, Reddit has some weird like problem with self-promotion, whereas like Facebook's like, yeah, whatever, dump whatever you want into Facebook, we don't care.
We'll bury it. You will not. It will not see the light of day.
Unless you pay us for
Yes.
to boost the post.
Actually, surprisingly,
which we won't.
I stopped posting on Facebook groups for a while because I didn't think it mattered, but we actually did lose downloads after I stopped doing that, so I started doing it again.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
But anyway, what we're going to talk about today is Unknown Pleasures, Joy Division's first album. This is the one before Ian was so depressed that he became less functional. Like, I think he would have probably lived a happy life if after this album he decided to retire from music and focus on fixing his brain. My main source for a lot of this is the Joy Division biography, which is called... It's a really long name, so I need to look it up.
He also suffered from epilepsy.
Yeah.
So he had like, and that also made him really depressed because like he would be on stage and all of a sudden have an epileptic fit and like a seizure and stuff. So he got really depressed about that, and like he just was a kind of a downer. I feel bad for the guy. Like, I wish he could, like you said, could have got the help that he needed,
Yeah. The name of the book that I'm mainly basing what I'm going to say factually about the band is called The Searing Light, the Sun, and Everything Else by John Savage. It's like an oral history of the band where he interviewed everyone who was involved in it.
I'd read that, yeah.
It's good.
All right. Well, so this is the album that everybody has the T-shirt of.
Yes.
My favorite T-shirt. My favorite T-shirt is the one that says, "Oh no, I ironed my Oregon Joy Division T-shirt." It's just flat. That's my favorite.
We all know what the cover looks like, but yeah,
Jacob.
I forget what it was, but I remember watching a show at one time where like a character got mad at another character that always wore Joy Division shirts, and he's like, "We get it, you're a Joy Division fan."
Oh yeah,
what was that?
Oh, fuck, I can't think of it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Is Love Will Tear Us Apart not on this one?
no.
that one was not released on an album. They were famous for, if they released a song as a single, not including it on an album. And if they would have put it on an album, it would have been on their next one. That song hadn't been written yet, but because that was around the time of their second album when they did that one.
So all these songs will be brand new to you, Jacob.
Yeah.
Well, I think I might have heard. Yeah, a lot of these will be very new to me. I think I've heard She's Lost Control because when you were saying that, I was like, oh, maybe I've heard that song. I don't know. I will announce in a very excited tone if I recognize any of these. You'll hear it.
Yeah.
You'll hear.
Yeah, but they like, ooh.
You'll feel my wrath.
Yeah. But they didn't like the idea of making fans pay for the same song twice. So, like, what I consider to be their best song, Atmosphere, was released on a French language, like on a French only single that they even had a hard time getting a hold of in the UK. Because it's like, well, we released it once, don't need to release it again. They released a UK single for it in 1988 when they put out the Substance compilation of all their singles, when they realized, hey, people aren't hearing the singles anymore, they just know the 2 albums. So I think Substance, like, along with Unknown Pleasures, along with Closer, like I consider Substance to be a part of like their whole discography. So like listen to all 3. There's a Rarities compilation called Still, which is pretty good, but it being a Rarities compilation, there's a few half-finished songs on it, so it doesn't flow quite as well. But
I like your optimism, half-finished.
Yeah.
I have a lot of half-unfinished songs.
Yeah.
Well,
the funny thing is, like, there was one of the songs that's on Still is a live track of the song Ceremony, where the first verse is completely garbled because of the sound system, and no one in New Order afterwards knew the lyrics to the first verse, so they wrote their own and released it as their first single. So like in a way, like one of the very last Joy Division songs was the very first New Order song. So there's some continuity with all that.
That's some serious lore.
Yeah.
Well,
this is one of my favorite bands.
Well, like you were saying too, like their live sound was always kind of bad because a lot of times they would have like the vocal mic plugged into the guitar amp or something like that. Like they just, because they didn't have much equipment, so it was they usually didn't have great sound live.
we had to do that one year at Skate Fest.
Yeah.
Plugged the vocal mic into just I think it was Dinger's guitar amp, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, and we'll talk a little bit about how their sound developed after we listen to the side, because I think it'll make more sense to explain it after we've listened to it. But we'll get started. Steve, can you describe the iconic cover?
It looks like mountains, kind of.
Does it say who the artist is?
No. It does on the back.
What does it say on the back?
It just says Joy Division, Unknown Pleasures. Fact 10R, a factory records product, and it was made in Germany.
It's sound waves.
Yeah, it's sound waves.
Is it sound waves?
That's
I
what
always thought it was mountains for some reason.
No, it's sound waves. It's a seismic sound wave.
All right, I'm gonna get my iron out.
I ironed my Joy Division.
Yeah, it was designed by Peter Saville, who was like Factory Records was their label. It was part of like the Factory Club. There's a huge scene surrounding it that the whole Manchester scene was a part of.
The inner sleeve is a door with a creepy glowing hand going towards the door handle.
Scary.
Yeah.
Very suggestive. What does it mean to you, listener?
This is scary.
It's a nuclear alien's coming to abduct me.
Yeah. But
Or maybe it's Mr. Burns from that episode where he was also
Where he does the ether.
Yeah.
I wish everyone
peace and love. Now that I'm back to my world, you will all be fired.
But yeah, on this first side we have on this first side we have Disorder, Day of the Lords, Candidate, Insight, and we're going to close out the side with New Dawn Fades.
According to the credits, we have words and music by Joy Division.
Yep.
It was published by Fractured Music, produced by Martin Hannetz, engineered by Chris Nagel, recorded at Strawberry Studios in Stockport, and the sleeve was designed by Joy Division and Peter Saville. Together, it was a collaborative effort.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah. Fact 10, a factory records product.
But I also like it that the Manchester, like big label and club is called Factory, just a reference to the industrial wasteland that their town was. Yeah. I think one of the reasons why I like this band so much is the same reason that Pere Ubu appeals to me, is it's just born out of the industrial wastes of a decaying city. Only with Pere Ubu, it's Cleveland. So think of Manchester.
I was going to say, how dare you say that about Cleveland?
Think of Manchester as the Cleveland of the UK.
So that makes sense.
Detroit is more vibrant culturally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I
It's
saw
the
somebody
Motor City.
describe Birmingham as the Detroit of England.
Yeah, Manchester would be more the Cleveland.
It sounds like
The Cuyahoga
Birmingham
River.
is in England, except London is the decaying town of somewhere else.
Yeah. But yeah, we will get the site started, and then we will
We'll be right back.
be right back.
We will be back after these important messages from our sponsors. Just kidding. We don't have no fucking sponsors.
When I need I listen to Joy Division.
That was good.
That one song sounded like, like at the end of a Metallica song after they've been heavy for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like that same kind of minor 1, flat 7, flat 6, 5. It's like the babe, I'm gonna leave you.
I
chord
guarantee you
progression.
though, like these guys didn't know like
They weren't planned. They
Oh,
just
yeah.
liked the way that felt, and
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure they weren't like, "Hey, here's what we're gonna do.
we're gonna
you
do
know?
the flat 7.
Yeah, exactly. New Dawn fades.
New Dawn Page is the last one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one. Flat 7, flat 6, 5. That's the Chicago. That's their version of Chicago's 45, 25, or 624. I like their version better than the Chicago version.
Yeah. You know what that song needed was a jaunty horn section.
Oh yeah. All these songs could have done so well if they had a jaunty
I
horn
think
section.
Chicago led directly to 90s ska.
Yeah.
It went Chicago, real big for big fish. You know what I mean? Speaking of jaunty horn sections, I heard that fucking Fishbone was in town
Oh, fuck.
last week, and I totally fucking missed it.
That would have been.
I would have definitely gone to see Fishbone. They're great. Did you ever
Yeah.
see I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker?
Yeah.
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 Who the hell's that? That's my backup band. They're just walking behind the guy like, that's hilarious.
And we are back from the first side of Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division. What did you all think?
I discovered pleasures.
Unknown?
No,
Pleasures.
they're known now.
They're-
Did you open the box and did Pinhead show up?
Yeah. I'll show you such pleasures.
This is kind of the music of like Hellraiser, the 80s British splatterpunk stuff, like Clive Barker and all that. Yeah.
I
love
was
Barker.
expecting to really like it, but I was pleasantly surprised with how doomy the atmosphere was on all the songs.
Yeah, it has like a doom metal kind of feeling to
Yeah,
it.
I could hear like if you added like a distant, discordant, like distorted guitar, it would turn these probably into doom metal songs.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like they had smaller amplifiers than Sleep.
Yeah. They did. That's
Smaller and less of them.
now that we've heard it, I'm going to
Couldn't
talk.
afford.
Yeah.
We'll talk about their recording.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff.
recording process and their lineup a little bit. The lineup was Ian Curtis on vocals, Bernard Sumner on guitar and synths, Peter Hook on bass, and Stephen Morris on drums. Even after they had done this, when they were live, they played these songs without all the tape effects and without all the overdubs, and they played at a faster tempo, so they sounded punkier live.
Okay.
But they still, like, Ian Curtis was still doing his like Jim Morrison thing, while like in their earlier stuff, before he figured that out, he sounded more like he was doing a Johnny Rotten thing, and like the Jim Morrison thing was much better for him. Like if you listen to like the Ideal for Living EP, the vocals are one of the things that really make a difference. But yeah, Martin Hamnett was their producer, and he did a lot of stuff with like tape and overdubs and tape effects. And most of the band did not like it at first. Peter Hook is still iffy on it.
I was gonna say they actually hated it.
Yeah.
They were like, they thought like he ruined their sound because
Stephen Morris liked it though, the drummer.
yeah. But they thought that because it was slower and like it wasn't. They said it wasn't representative of how like they were live and everything. So like I did like I like there's so the like I have like I got the anniversary edition of this that has like a live performance after the album proper.
Yeah.
And it's actually pretty good, and it sounds really raw, but it like the performance is actually like pretty fucking sweet.
Oh
So,
yeah, there are some good recordings of their janky small amp setup that sound really good.
yeah, like I was saying in between when we were off, like they used to not have the best setup, and like they would have like a PA, so they would use a guitar. They would plug the vocals into the guitar amp and stuff like that.
Yeah, and one of the reasons why so much of like the bass being the lead instrument and played really high up on the neck was because early on, when Sumner and Hook were first playing together, Sumner had a much better amp than Hook, and so Hook, just to hear himself, would play really high on the neck so that he could make it out under Sumner's guitar, and that kind of developed their sound in a lot of ways. And then Stephen Morris was a machine on drums, like the way he could like stutter and cut out. He was big into like, out of all the band, he was big into disco and like electronic dance music, like Gigi Moroder, Donna Summer, Sparks, stuff like that. That's why when like New Order started to do more dance stuff and do drum machine stuff, he would program the drum machine and play synth on those songs and was still the live drummer. Like he was a drummer that didn't feel like the drum machines was replacing him because he liked that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, and if you listen to his drumming, it sounds almost machine-like.
Yeah.
Like you were kind of pointing out, like a lot of the songs were Indian Jake. Like you were pointing out where it sounded like the drummer kept going.
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of, he was almost like a drum machine in his own way.
There's a scene, like there's a movie about the Manchester band scene called 24-Hour Party People, and there's a scene in that where they just leave Stephen Morris on the roof playing drums while everyone else goes to party. That scene may or may not be true, but it is a good encapsulation of the music. But yeah, let's go track by track. Disorder, the opener. I love this song. The bass,
my favorite. It's actually my favorite Joy Division song.
it's up there for me. It's not my favorite, but yeah, it's really good. I like this one. Was kind of like the fastier punkier song on the side too, just like more up tempo. The great soulful vocal delivery was really good, especially at the end. Got the spirit. Yeah, that was amazing. I like that bass run that was going during the feeling.
Is that where the bass kind of like takes a detour?
Yeah.
Yeah. That caught me off guard. I really like this. This was like the first kind of time I ever sat down and listened to any Joy Division, and I like it a lot. Although that part when the bass kind of veers off, I was like, oh, this is going in a direction I didn't expect. Kind of. But I'm not complaining.
Yeah, there was a point where it kind of got a little discordant, but
yeah, which I like. The avant-garde. You know what I mean? I don't think that like I made the joke earlier, Simon Cowell would hate this album because it's not going to sell records. It's not like anything my grandma would have listened to back in the early 60s.
Does not sound like Lawrence Welk.
It doesn't sound like Pat Boone.
Yeah.
So all you Pat Boone fans out there, beware. This is your warning.
I also like
Pat Boone had a heavy metal album.
I liked all the tape swoops that were throughout it too. That like those were cool.
Yeah, I made note of that on mine. Is I liked the tape noises.
You guys talking about how they weren't fans of all the tape and kind of ambient noise in the background. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
They're potato or what am I trying to say? Different strokes for different folks.
Potato.
Yeah, which cliche am I going for here?
Yeah.
But
and it's like it's funny that they didn't like that, because to me that's what makes a lot of this so influential to the kind of stuff I do.
I think like when when an artist intends it one way and then the people listening to it kind of interpret it in another way, it just kind of falls where it falls. I could really hear how this influenced a lot of stuff that I like to listen to, They're like, what's it called? They're not Juilliard scholars, it's very clear, but it's filled with like such like raw meaning, you know what I mean? It's so forceful, I love it.
Yeah.
It's beyond just like, what did you say the last time I was here? Guitar wankery.
Guitar wankery, yeah.
Yeah. I really liked it a lot. It had real Velvet Underground vibes. I bet you these guys were Velvet Underground fans, and I really enjoyed hearing that kind of in their music.
They were. One of the songs they covered live was Sister Ray.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
Next up, we have Day of the Lords.
Oh, I love this one.
Yeah.
Slow and doomy with some noisy in there. I could hear like a doom metal band or a desert rock band covering this song. Probably has happened. I'm just not aware of it.
It would probably have to be one of the more suicidal ones.
Yeah. The guitar intro was cool.
Doom metal, like all of them then.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that are extra suicidal.
Yeah. I liked like that high little feedbacky synth part that would come in sometimes. Yeah. One quote, I forget who said this, but I like it and the way it describes it. Punk rock was like, fuck you. Joy Division took that energy and said, I'm fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more dreadful, or like it's got a lot of existential dread to it, whereas punk music is more kind of like rebellious and wanting to kind of change things.
Yeah.
This is more wanting to kind of dip out.
Yeah. And like slowing it down like this, let it kind of build an intensity, and you can really hear like everything kind of start to layer in, and then you can hear like, especially like the bass and the vocals start to really get more aggressive by the end.
Yeah, like it does build into a crescendo, like, and like, werewolf.
Yeah.
I really liked how it's got that kind of like slow stoned kind of groove to it, and then when it gets to the chorus, there's this real buildy kind of like the drum beat in the middle of Incinerate, where it's like you could kind of that kind of quick time kind of bass drum kind of building effect. I really liked that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that the listener may even like it as well.
Yes. Incinerate by Sonic Youth.
No, I'm talking about Day of the Lords, which preceded Incinerate.
Yeah. But Incinerate is a good song if you like Day of the Lords.
And if you already like Incinerate, well then I have got a good album for you.
And next up we have Candidate, which one thing I really liked about this one was like how it kind of faded in. Like it was like they took a longer recording and just kind of faded it in at the best point to come in. I liked the guitar feedback on tape that sounded like a train in a tunnel.
Yeah. I just wrote heroin. That's the only thing I wrote.
This was the heroin song.
About this song.
Just like the preceding one, I liked how doomy it was. It had some like subtle guitar playing, and the bass was really steady, but once in a while it would deviate and do some interesting fills.
To me, this is like the most sparse song on the side, like and I remember first time I heard it, I was like, whoa, it's weird. I because I knew Ian Curtis had killed himself, so I'm like, wow, this does sound like someone that's like ready to
on the brink.
The brink. And then is this based off of Voltaire or
The Candidate?
I think so. Like Ian Curtis was a reader.
Yeah. So I've never read Candidate, so Candide or whatever.
Yeah. Candide.
Candide.
That's a great read. It's very short and very funny.
I read that book an hour before class and was so engrossed in it that I was able to properly participate.
Because it's about optimism,
It's
right?
about optimism, best
It's
of all
about,
possible worlds.
Like just kind of naivety,
Yeah.
you know, which is worse than optimism.
Yeah.
Then next up we
It's
have
the worst form of optimism.
Next up we have Insight, which is my favorite track on this side. Not my favorite on the record, but my favorite on the first side. I like just like that layer of tape and synth drums near the beginning. And I think like this is the best example of Peter Hook as like playing the bass guitar really high up on the neck. I like when it kind of builds to a crescendo that it does twice, where it does that little, like drum and synth freak out. That yeah, the part that said reminded you of Sonic Youth, Jake.
Yeah.
On this one, yeah.
Yeah, I could really hear, how this preceded a lot. You can hear this stuff in a lot of bands that I really, really like, So I think I need to listen to this album like a few more times in the next couple of days. There was like a kind of jungle beat noise freak out breakdown on the drums that was kind of, I guess, served as like kind of a chorus, if you will.
Yeah.
And that gave me if you're familiar with the song Murder Mystery by Velvet Underground, kind of vibes like that, which you hear over and over again.
I thought it had like a kind of a dreamlike atmosphere overall, and I really liked like the part where the synth sounded like lasers. Like it sounded to me like a big old like cloud where like lasers were coming out.
Yeah.
Space lasers.
And
Space
Lasers with a Z.
And finally, we have New Dawn Fades.
New Dawn Fades.
That was a really good way to end the side, I think.
Yeah.
It had like a wider sound than
And did this song fade out?
Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
Okay,
Except for the drums.
Oh, that's right. It did the thing that
You were talking about.
yeah.
Yeah. And
it's
also... Oh, go ahead.
you.
No,
I
you
was
go
going to just comment about how sometimes the bass player, like, you ever see those old Daffy Duck cartoons where he's like torturing like Porky Pig, and then he like starts going woo woo and like jumping around the room and everything.
Yeah.
The bass player will kind of sometimes like detour out into like, that kind of vibe, where
Yeah, Peter Hook is known for being a really good bass player.
Yeah.
Like that, and he's the bass player for the band, and he's known for being like a bass player's bass player or whatever, because he does like weird things and kind of goes
gets
off,
back.
yeah, and then comes back into the groove.
Who's all the people that are like, because after Ian Curtis retired from the music industry,
Yeah.
who are the members that did New Order?
Bernard Sumner took over on vocals and still did guitar. Hook stayed on bass, and Stephen Morris stayed on drums, and then they added Stephen Morris's girlfriend on.
I think she broke up the band. It was her fault.
No.
That's a Yoko Ono joke.
Yeah, but like this is one of the cases where adding the drummer's, well, the other example is Talking Heads, adding the drummer's girlfriend to the lineup actually worked.
It somehow worked in Fleetwood Mac too.
Yeah. But yeah,
a bit.
It worked for one album.
It worked until it didn't work.
Yeah.
And then she was everybody's girlfriend. And then, I think they all kind of free love. That was the summer of love, man.
1978, whenever they recorded that album.
Ah, yes, the summer of love.
1978.
And
then, I always thought it was like the most distorted sounding song on the side. You were actually able to pick out what kind of bass he was playing.
Yes, it's a Rickenbacker, the bass of my dreams.
And this is when the Rickenbacker was just like the cheap,
the thing that you got at the pawn shop.
Yeah. For dirt cheap, and like every British punk band had it until they could afford a P bass.
That's like the American version, or the British version of my grandpa got a 54 Telecaster from the pawn shop back in the early 60s. You know what I mean?
I know Geddy Lee used to play a Rickenbacker bass, and everybody's like, why'd you stop playing that? And he's like, because it's big and heavy, and jazz bass isn't.
It hurts my back.
Actually, that's kind of funny because McCartney, he originally played,
Hofner.
yeah, he played the Hofner bass, and then like Rickenbacker gave him a bass, and he like said he didn't feel like he was playing bass until he actually started playing that Rickenbacker.
Oh, really?
Because it like he was playing the violin bass, the Hofner bass, and it was so light and like it was like playing a guitar. And then he said it was like an anchor.
Yeah, as the bass is in concept.
Yeah.
You know, that's cool.
So he's like, he didn't start feeling like he was playing bass until he started playing a Rickenbacker bass.
So are we talking about New Dawn Fades? I'm always in search of songs that have the 1 flat 7 flat 6 flat 5 chord progression. A few examples are Chicago's 25 or 64, Green Day's Brain Stew?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think even what's that Hit the Road Jack?
Oh yeah.
Is like that, you know, and then there's
Ray Charles.
What's the one by Led Zeppelin? Babe, I'm Gonna Leave.
Yeah, baby, I'm gonna leave you.
So this is now New Order has solidified their names in the books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And since we got off track, Jillian Gilbert was the name of the of Stephen Morris's girlfriend who played guitar and synthesizer for New Order once they formed. So.
I saw New Order at a music festival in 2005, and it was it's pretty cool. So I bet you, or it's possible that I did hear 1 or 2 of these songs at that. I'm assuming, you know,
they tend to play Level Tear Us Apart and She Lost Control at a lot of New Order sets and Atmosphere. But speaking of She Lost Control, our next side is the opener.
Our good side.
Yeah, I like side 2 a little more. We'll get into why after we listen to it, but yeah, it has She's Lost Control, Shadow Play, Wilderness, Interzone, which yes is a William Burroughs reference, and closing out I Remember Nothing.
I remember nothing.
I bet before
You get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I bet before he was a bassist, Peter Hook was a pirate.
Peter Hook.
Yeah. So good.
He does that. He does that a lot. He does that in what's Wild at Heart a lot, where it's just a camera watching the road go by as they're driving. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that seems like that's a driving song. You said that other song was a song where you could imagine like driving in a rainstorm.
Yeah,
that's a song where you take a long, fast drive off of a cliff.
Yeah. That really describes that song very well. Yeah, and
it even ends with a crash.
Yeah,
there's like crashing and destruction noise all strewn throughout the background of that last song, which we will talk about, which we will discuss.
I'm going to talk a little bit about their literary influences too, though. Like they were, like Ian Curtis was a reader. He was like a big fan of like William Burroughs and J.G. Ballard and all these like depressing novelists who wrote quasi science fiction books about urban decay and people being isolated and all that. So you can definitely hear that in all of these. But yes, we are back from side B of Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division, which was fantastic in my opinion. What did the rest of you think?
Yeah, that's my favorite album or side of the album, and that's no slight against the first side of the album, but the whole thing had like each song had like a different kind of darkness of a vibe to it. You know? It's a pretty dark album.
And
I could really like kind of lurk in my gloom to this album.
Yeah, I love it how it started and ended with lurking in the gloom, but it was like slowly, you know, like by the second song, it was like let's introduce a little bit of the punk energy from the live show into this. They kept introducing more of it until the second to last song, and then for the last one, it's like okay, full back into the gloom.
We're back into the gloom.
Yeah.
It's like that one song is like, hey, even though we've been brooding in our gloom for what seems like an eternity, we are still angry.
Yeah.
Lest we forget, we are still actually angry.
Yeah.
You know?
I feel like I just loved the flow of this side and how it also then incorporated the energy of their live set into it without fully getting rid of all, like the studio atmosphere too.
Yeah. It is the whole album in general is like for me one of those no skip albums.
Oh yeah, every track
every track is like an essential, kind of like not every album is like a no skip album, but this is definitely one of my no skip albums.
I feel like once I get more used to this album, it'll be one of those things where if I hear any given song off of this record, I will like be uncomfortable by not hearing the next one. You know what I mean? Like there's some Pink Floyd albums where when I hear one of their songs on the radio, I'm like, fuck. Now I got like Pink Floyd Blue Balls.
That's oftentimes why if I hear like another brick in the wall on the radio, I change the station
because you're expecting the next song after that.
Yeah, and it just doesn't make sense without the entire Wall album around it.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about. And this is it just feels like that's the direction it's going. I'll definitely need to get a copy of this album.
Yeah,
I think I slightly preferred the first side over this side, but I mean the whole album was excellent. I mean no part overstayed its welcome. It was crafted really well. There were plenty of earworms strewn throughout each song. It's every bit. It deserves every bit of its iconic status that it's acquired over the years.
And this was a debut record too. Like, yeah, they'd done like a bunch of singles and EP stuff before this, but this is like most people outside of Manchester. This was the first they heard of the band.
Yeah.
And it just drips with like personality. Like it's just very much like there's no way you could be like, oh, at a restaurant and one of these songs comes on and you're like, oh, is this Joy Division or is it the Red Hot Chili Peppers? It's very clear who you're listening to.
What's that Nick Cave quote about the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Oh, yeah. Every time I'm listening to the radio and I think, what is this shit? It turns out it's the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
that would suck if you were like
suck my kiss.
A Nick Cave fan, but you were also a member of the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, they are fans.
And then you heard them say a quote like that. That would be kind of like, aww.
Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers are fans of Nick Cave, and Nick Cave does not like the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It's great.
That's sad.
It is.
It's not as bad as some of the music that the Red Hot Chili Peppers have put out.
So. I was gonna say they're crying all the way to the bank. Yeah. So
I wonder if they can write another song where the state of California is a metaphor for sex,
or vice versa.
Well, California's a big state.
Yeah. So. The state of sex is a metaphor for California.
Lots of sex happening in California.
State of sex.
Because there's a lot of people. But anyway, track by track, this side opens with She's Lost Control, which is one of their best known songs and one of their best songs. This one's one of their best known ones because there's a legendary TV performance of it, which is definitely worth checking out.
Yeah,
I like the snare sound, and I liked how they used the reverb on the percussion vocals on this one. And I really liked how it built up. Like the guitar didn't even come in until about 2/3 of the way through.
No,
it came in quietly about 1/3, and then by 2/3 it was like at full volume.
Yeah. It was actually the first, like I said earlier, it was the first song I had heard by them. So it was this was the intro, my intro song to them. Yeah. So
a couple fun facts about this song. One, this is the only Joy Division song that was covered by another artist while Ian Curtis was still alive, and that artist was Grace Jones. Look it up. It's an amazing cover. And then 2, this is the song that inspired me to, hey, it'd be cool if we had E-drums with traditional drums in my old band Gong Farmer. And I tried to bully Pete into doing it, and he did it for 2 shows, and then chose not to anymore. But
you need to be a better bully. I think
I do. But that E-drum set, then I then sold to Steve, and now we use it in the Alliterates. So the song is one of the germs of the Alliterates.
So, but it's probably the one that sounds the most like he is a drum machine in it, because it's got that.
I just want the world to know that when David said that he sold the Z drums to Steve, he was making the cutthroat motion and eye contact with Steve.
Yeah,
so
kind of like
just to let y'all
he
know.
sold his soul.
Yeah,
I use real cymbals, so I'm still kind of using
yeah,
a real kit too.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like an android of a kit, you know. It's like
I thought about using real toms instead of the e-toms, but I think much like Pete, mixing and matching would probably piss off every sound guy more than we already piss off every sound guy.
yeah.
It's like a real drum kit that had like a knee replacement. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I like how Jimmy said that we're low maintenance people, but we have but we're high maintenance musicians or something.
Yeah, that is 100% true.
I think I'm pretty low maintenance.
You're the most low maintenance
you
member of this
motherfucker.
band. Well, no, Andrew's low maintenance too, but the two of us. Yeah.
I mean, he has like his whole pedal set. I don't know.
Yeah.
I go back and forth. I'm very kind of arbitrary about about my standards.
Actually, I guess I am higher maintenance because I do have the acoustic guitar too. So
Yeah. So Andrew is now officially the low maintenance member of the band.
that motherfucker.
Yeah. Next up, we have my favorite song on the record and one of my it's in my top 5 Joy Division songs. Shadow Play.
I liked it because it was a higher energy rock song, and it had a really cool guitar solo. And I also liked that it had like these, I think they were tape effects, like accenting like certain parts. It was just perfect.
Yeah, I loved like how it started off with like the slow bass pulse with just like the cymbals on the drums, and then the guitar like kicked in, kind of like rung out a little bit, and then just kick-ass punk song after that. But like it was still like it had the kick-ass punk song energy, but still like the atmosphere of everything around it. It was great.
Yeah, it didn't like it. You know, like sometimes when they change sounds like that, it sounds like out of place, but it didn't sound out of place. It doesn't sound out of place on this album. It sounds like it's a part of the cohesive album.
I'm gonna look at a picture of these people.
Yeah, and then
I wonder. I
I
gotta put a face to the.
Oh yeah, you definitely should look it up. They look like very normal working class people. They didn't do like the whole like leather jackets and spiky hair thing.
Because some of these titles are like super like they would make
They would make goth people blush.
Yeah. You know, they'd be like, Jesus, why didn't we think about Bauhaus is like, good God, Shadow Play? What was I thinking? Doing Shadow Play.
One of my favorite parts of like the whole thing though is like how there'd be like the long drum fills with like the cymbal crash after that, just like build and release tension right there. It was perfect, and I liked like the kind of like chugging rhythm guitar at parts of it, and then I liked how the whole thing just ended in like a giant crash.
These guys look like they're going to like try to sell me insurance.
Yeah, they look aggressively normal, and they wear like button-up shirts.
Aggressively normal.
Yeah,
They're aggressively not aggressive.
Yeah,
but they come up with such dark music and such dark titles and such like.
And it's funny they haven't really changed their look too much. They still look about the same.
Yeah,
well, they're kind of etched in time.
Yeah, although
they didn't get a chance.
By the time New Order was really getting electronic, and Peter Hook was being like, "I'm going to hold down the rock portion of the band with my aggressive lead distorted bass," he started like wearing a leather jacket, and he grew his hair out and all that. So like. There was a while in the 80s when like Peter Hook was like the rock like the dangerous rock star in the band. but yeah, like
But then Bernard Sumner still looked like a dork.
He's wearing like a polo shirt with his I have a job haircut.
Yeah. He's like, how does it feel?
But yeah, like the Shadow Play though reminds me of driving in a thunderstorm. Just like you get like the crashes of thunder throughout this, but you get like the atmosphere of like rain coming down. It's a perfect song in my opinion. Any more shots on Shadow Play before we move on to Wilderness?
I'm good on that. I like the bass line, the bass intro.
Yeah, the snaky.
Of Wilderness.
Yeah.
Wilderness is where I realized that these guys check all my reverb and delay saturation boxes.
Nice.
You know, like the
that's really hard to pull off. Like
they do it very
seems like
fantastically.
Reverb is either you turn it off or it's too much. Like most of the time,
they would have caught me back in my psychedelics days. I think.
Yeah.
That could have got weird.
And I like that. Yeah.
I like it.
I like that snaky bass line with the lyric, "The blood of Christ on their skins." Like, like, what did you see there? Yeah.
Did you see that?
I like the rhythm section on it. I thought it. I thought it did a very good job of invoking the title "Wilderness."
Yeah, and it felt like feeling like completely isolated from other people while you're around other people. Like it's a wilderness of people.
And it still like had like some punky. It was a little funkier than the rest of the songs, but it was kind of like but it still had some punk
Angst.
roots and angst in it. Yeah.
And speaking of punk, let's get on to Inner Zone, which is the punky song on
And
the
that's
record.
spelled ENTER.
No,
INTER.
Oh, INTER.
It's a reference to
Zone.
Enter Zone is the name of like the fictional North African city in Naked Lunch by William Burroughs, where rich people go to do a lot of drugs.
Oh, I didn't know
I
they
haven't
did
read
that.
Naked Lunch.
It is hard to read because it is near impossible to follow. Because Burroughs was just like all stream of consciousness.
Oh, fuck that. I ain't
Wasn't he
reading.
also like clipping it up, like chopping it up and like making collage pretty much out of it?
Which kind of explains Martin Hamnett's approach to production too.
Yeah.
Enter Zone could also be the name of a butthole.
Yeah. Yes. But this one was Peter Hook on lead vocals, and
That's the exit zone.
Yeah.
I don't know why you
It
call
could
it
also be
I don't
it's
know why
usually the exit zone, but it can also be the enter zone.
Enter Zone.
Steve, do you have something to tell us that you're calling your butthole the enter zone?
are you doing suppositories?
Well, I mean, that's the only way.
enter zone is
that's the
for
only way you can
unloading
safely do
only.
marijuana.
Yeah. according to the state of Nebraska, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what this song's about. Is about putting marijuana suppositories up your butt, right?
Yeah. For medical reasons only. Yeah.
According to the state of Nebraska, but not the state of California.
Yeah.
Californication.
I think
I always hate when Ian Curtis goes into that weird Anthony Kiedis scat.
Yeah.
That's a joke. He doesn't do that at all ever once. So
I do like Hooky on the lead vocals for Inner Zone. I think he probably should have been the lead singer for New Order, but hey, that's not how it worked out.
this one's their mean side. They get kind of
Gotta find a way. Gotta find a way.
The guitar on this song I thought had a really cool hooky melody, and since Peter Hook is the one that's singing, that's very fitting.
Yeah. And then the synth little stabs throughout it. It's really good.
I like Inner Zone a lot.
It's a great song. And then we close it out with "I Remember Nothing."
Yes,
was-
bringing it back to the doom.
This is
the
my favorite
ominous
one.
Doom.
I think Wilderness was the one that I said out loud that's my favorite one while it was playing. And then when it got to I Remember Nothing, this was the one where I was like, oh, I hear this in like every one of my favorite bands. I could hear that every one of my favorite bands love this song. So I thought that was really neat. Such a intense vibe on this of danger. It was very dangerous sounding. It sounded like maybe like if they wanted to hang out with me, I'd be like, I don't know, guys.
It sounds
I'm
pretty good.
kind of busy.
It was slow.
I got homework to do.
It was slow in a dangerous way, like two guys with switchblades circling each other
Yeah,
in a
sounds
parking
like-
lot.
It
before
sounds
a
like
night
if you
fight.
cut yourself on it, you'd get tetanus.
Yeah, I felt like I was being circled by wolves. You know what I mean?
It's funny because it's the longest song on the album, but it doesn't feel long at all. So
None of the
that's-
songs on this album felt long. If
I know.
anything, I was kind of surprised when the side ended.
This
for
album's
each
so
one.
short.
How long is it?
it's less than 40 minutes.
It's like 39 minutes.
Lord.
Which I think is the perfect length for an album
I
because
agree.
sometimes they're like, oh, let's make our album an hour and 15 minutes. And it's like,
like,
no,
come
we shouldn't do
Or we
that.
could do like 2 hours, Jerry Cantrell, looking
Yeah.
at you,
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Jerry Cantrell.
We did a degradation trip, like the volume 1 and 2, and it was fucking like the first
It was an
disc.
all-nighter.
The first disc was like 69 minutes. The
Nice.
second disc was 79 minutes.
Is Jerry Cantrell the guitarist from Alice in Chains?
Yeah.
And I like how all of us were tired of it, and we also took 2 weeks in between each disc.
Yeah, it just felt like we were listening to fucking Jerry Cantrell forever, and I'm like, I need to not listen to Alice in Chains for like a year now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
There was a good like 58 minutes of music in the whole thing, I think. And then I think the rest of this stuff could have been good on a separate release if it was worked on a little bit, but just like all at once, it was just like, okay, this is
Well,
starting
there
to
was like
drag.
one whole
Focus,
side
guys,
that could have been
focus.
left out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could have been a really great single album.
Well, and
And-
it was because Roadrunner initially released it as one album, and
I
then
would
Jerry's
actually-
like, "But I want it to be 2 albums." They're like,
I know I'm going to
"Fine."
regret saying this, but I would actually not be opposed to just doing the one album version and seeing if it's a better listen than the 2 album version was.
Maybe if we ever do this podcast live, maybe that's one thing we can do.
I like how you put on Bluesky. It's like, how would we do that? Would we just sit in silence for half an hour?
Yeah, everyone sits there while we listen to a
listens.
record and listens to it with us.
If you guys did a live podcast, it would probably have to be a live album, right? Like Kiss Live,
We could do that, yeah.
which is technically not a live album.
No,
That reminds
I
me.
think
I told everyone that I would not bring up the K word today, and I accidentally did. So
that reminds me, Dave. Lock the door. We're gonna do Peter Criss next.
yeah.
Motherfucker! I'm out!
I will break the window.
All right. But this is
Oh shit! This
I'm not
might be
that motivated.
This actually would be a good dynamic duo to do another
To have
Kiss,
a Kiss
Yeah,
album with
because
us
I
on
fucking
there.
hate Kiss.
They are my number one least favorite band.
they're my number 2 least favorite band because Def Leppard exists.
Oh yeah,
Def
that's a good
Leppard.
point.
Yeah.
I don't know, like
Def
can't-
Leppard is like wimpy Kiss.
I can't bring myself to hate like Nickelback or Imagine Dragons because I don't want to give them that much mental
You
energy.
don't want to. It's kind of
Yeah.
like Voldemort. You don't want to
Yeah.
like.
I honestly could give a fuck about Nickelback and like
Yeah.
I've heard worse stuff than that.
I know
have too,
it's just
man.
like it's cock rock. I mean,
Yeah, it's like butt
it's
rock.
kind of like butt rock. It's
And
kind of
either
like
way,
nothing.
yeah.
It- I just think it's funny because like because they took themselves so seriously.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what the funniest
Are
thing
they
is.
very much older than us? I don't think
They're
so.
probably-
they're probably
I think
in
when
our
people our
age.
age did
Yeah.
stuff like that back in their 20s, it's really hard on the eyes and ears.
Yeah.
Like in retrospect, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I'm just glad that like none of my stuff was like social media wasn't out yet. I have all these really embarrassing cassette tapes.
Oh yeah, I had some really bad shit too. Like because I got a tape recorder. And I just would sit there and play songs and make up lyrics that were terrible.
I thought I was sitting on a gold mine, but if it ever came out, you know what I mean?
You know who was? It's funny because I thought of Daniel Johnston.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, wow, he actually was good at this. And then I listened back to that
yours
stuff,
you're
and I was like,
okay,
break.
don't quit your day job, Sean.
Yeah. Because like his like the Hi How Are You album was like amazing, and I'm just like, wow, I was shit.
The kind of stuff like like Daniel Johnston and like Lou Barlow, like the lo-fi home recorded stuff is really hard to pull off. Like you have to be a very good songwriter to be able to
I
do
think
that.
you have to be an artist, and back then I was like not really clear on what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
You know, like I am now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm older, I still don't know
take
what
it
the
from
fuck
me,
I'm doing. Yeah.
a guy who knows what he's trying to do.
You guys say you got some embarrassing cassettes, and I'm glad my old MySpace profile doesn't exist because there was some
Oh yeah.
guitar stuff on it that
Is MySpace completely taken down, and
It
It still exists.
so I could probably still access my old MySpace
I
account.
think
Unless you shut it down, you probably could.
I never.
I deleted mine.
I don't even
so-
think I logged out.
Yeah.
I think I'm still logged in. Is
But
there
on
a,
what computer?
Oh God. Oh yeah, I guess it would have to be a computer by computer basis, right?
Yeah.
I was probably logged into my parents' old compact.
We should make an Alliterates MySpace.
We should.
That would be hilarious.
The main thing I used MySpace for back in the day was since bands could put like 4 songs on it, would be to listen to songs for CDs I didn't own.
I did it.
Yeah.
I used MySpace to simply show my friends where they stand.
Well, I don't know who uses it now, but it seems to be music based now. Like
Yeah.
that's kind of the entire point of
So
it.
we should open to MySpace, actually.
it's funny because I as a kid, you wanted to listen to a ton of music, but you couldn't afford it and stuff.
Because this is before streaming,
Yeah, before streaming, I guess I'm talking about in the 90s.
which is why
So-
MySpace letting bands put 4 songs on it was a huge deal at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just it's amazing to me now, the access kids have to music and they listen to fucking Taylor Swift or,
Yeah,
or
that's
BTS or whatever the fuck. And all that bullshit.
We have access to so much shit, and the thing that the majority of I think in their defense, or it's not like it's forced on them. Like all this bullshit is just like they're flooded with it. You know what I mean? It's all suggestive. It's like, here's something else you may like, and then it's like, oh, do I like this? I'll check it out.
Oh
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Like, so it's just like suggestion. It's
But that's always existed to some degree. Like,
yeah, but you're right. I'm not disagreeing with that. But I'm saying this is a way more concentrated, like invasive style of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because
algorithm
I
playing
always
that. Yeah.
MTV, for all of its flaws and real world bullshit in the 90s, they still had 120 minutes at
Headbangers Ball.
Headbangers Ball. So you could still find
the Butthole Surfers.
Shit you didn't
Yeah.
you wanted
Butthole
to
Surfers, the
the
greatest
shit you
band name
wanted.
ever. You know?
We need to do a Butthole Surfers record on this album. On
I'd
this
like to do
podcast at some point.
the Locust
abortion.
That's the
What
best.
is that?
Yeah.
Technician, that's the best one.
Yeah.
Locust Abortion Technician. Not only do they have the coolest band name ever, but that's one of the most hardcore album titles that I've ever heard in my life. And the opening of it is like a Sweet Leaf cover called Sweet Loaf. Sweat Loaf. I've been pronouncing it wrong. By the way, if you see your mother, tell her I said. I read in the Al Jorgensen autobiography that what's that guy's name? Gibby
Haynes. Yeah.
Gibby Haynes.
He's the lead singer on Jesus Built My Hot Rod.
Yeah.
And then he was so kind of cracked out and drunk that he couldn't even sit upright on his stool, and they couldn't really get anything out of him. It was just a bunch of incoherent bullshit. And then Al Jorgensen just edited into something.
Yeah, that's what Al Jorgensen was also, like Joy Division, a huge fan of William Burroughs and the cut up approach to songwriting. That's also you can kind of hear the beginnings of industrial music in this too. Cabaret Voltaire and Throbbing Gristle were starting to do their thing. They started a little earlier in this, but it was all coming out of the same stew.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can really hear a lot of just the kind of minimalism, but causing such a strong vibe. You know what I mean? That's present in industrial music, where they're just kind of using unconventional instruments, quote unquote instruments, to make this kind of collage of sound that makes you feel like some weird abstract.
Yeah. You got the breaking glass, especially in I Remember Nothing too.
Yeah.
I could hear a few different genres fork off of this,
Yeah. I would like to listen. I need to try this sometime. Listen to I Remember Nothing and Sentimental Journey by Parrot Ubu back to back, because they both have sampled glass breaking as a key part of the song, and just creepy bass and surprisingly aggressive vocals over a slow song. I think that would work pretty well.
Oh, speaking of Para Ubu, I actually did go back and listen to Modern Day.
Modern
the album.
Dance? Yeah.
Or Modern Dance. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was actually really good.
It's an amazing album. It's one of the strongest debuts, like Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division.
Unlike the album we're talking about.
Yeah, like that. Tie it back in.
Tie it back in. Oh, I was going to say one other thing, too. Henry Rollins. We were talking about like punk, and you guys were like, "Oh, I wonder if Danzig has heard this," because it does sound like there's some Danzig, like his later stuff, not the Misfits era.
Danzig
There were
1
some
and 2.
self-titled moments.
That really sounded like
for like 9 minutes.
Yeah. But actually, I saw an interview Henry Rollins was doing, and he said that Unknown Pleasures is like the perfect album. It's his. He said it's his favorite album, and it's like he calls it the perfect album.
Oh, and since we were talking about David Lynch earlier, Henry Rollins plays a prison guard in Lost Highway. Which I'd forgotten about until I watched it last night. It's like, oh, hey.
The last time I watched Lost Highway, I forgot about Marilyn Manson and Twiggy Ramirez's cameo in Lost Highway.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I forgot about this.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since the 90s. I probably should watch it again.
It's very good. It's an underrated.
I don't think I understood it when I was a kid.
That's okay.
Get ready to not understand it still.
Because, it was one of those movies that, like, everyone had the fucking Lost Highway soundtrack. It was I heard about the soundtrack before I heard about the movie, because the soundtrack was like a huge hit. It like had a lot of Smashing Pumpkins, Manson, Nine Inch Nails, David Bowie.
First song what is that first song that's the opening of Lost Highway? It's like, I always forget that's my favorite David Bowie song. It's like I'm going deranged. Or
I can't remember, but everyone was talking about that soundtrack because it was just an amazing soundtrack.
I'm deranged.
Oh, the Lost Highway Laserdisc is expensive.
Yeah, because it's a movie that came out in 1997.
It must have been one of the last Laserdiscs produced then.
The last of the Laserdiscs, starring Daniel Day-Lewis.
But yeah, I would recommend, if you haven't listened to Unknown Pleasures before, definitely listen to it. And if you have listened to it before, listen to it again.
Yeah. If you haven't listened to it, what the fuck is wrong with you? No.
I hadn't listened to it before.
No,
and
it's okay.
I have a long list of what the fuck is wrong with me. I've been writing it down the whole time.
I will definitely check this out again. And if you're like a doom metal fan, or like a stoner rock fan, or like a desert rock fan, I think you would like this album a lot.
Yeah, I think if you're any kind of music or art music fan, you would like this.
Yeah.
If you're a Kiss fan, you probably won't like this.
If you're a Ted Nugent fan, you probably
give it a pass.
Speaking of which, we're going to listen to the Gene Simmons Asshole album now.
Is that
where he covers Firestarter?
Does he cover Firestarter?
He covers Firestarter.
Oh, wow. That's sick.
But yeah. Jacob, do you have anything you want to plug?
Man, a lot of bad jokes just came to my mind, Dave. I teach music, and my band Robo Dojo is playing at the Reverb on July 10th, which maybe that will be. It was a great show, guys.
Yeah, it was a great show.
Oh yeah, I enjoyed that one thing you did with your butthole.
I plugged it.
You played your guitar with your anus. It sounded like a Rickenbacker.
He used his patch cord in his butthole. It was magic.
The enter zone.
Oh my god. The enter zone. Oh my gosh. That is I'm speechless, my friends. I don't know what to say. You guys have all I really put my foot in it this time.
And by it, your butthole requires a lot of flexibility. I don't even know how your knee would let you do that.
What requires a lot of flexibility, Dave?
Flexibility and lube.
This is what Anthony Kiedis was talking about when he said California.
Yeah. Was giving his own butthole a foot job.
Yeah.
Oh, Californication.
Oh, Anthony Kiedis.
But yeah, this is
You fucking pedophile.
Yeah, he is a pedophile. He admitted it in his own biography. Yeah. But yeah, this has been
Just when I thought Red Hot Chili Peppers couldn't get any worse. This comes out, you know. I do like Chad Smith and I do like Flea. I don't know too much about John Frusciante. I think he's
overrated.
I think he's okay at the guitar.
He's
not
way
saying
the
I'm
fuck
better than John
overrated.
Frusciante is, but I'm also I just every time I hear Anthony Kiedis's voice, I'm just kind of like, man, that guy can afford voice lessons.
Yeah.
I know that guy can afford voice lessons, and he has access to like the top voice instructors.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Come on, bud.
Still nothing.
Get into it, Anthony.
I do like seeing Flea in every documentary about the LA punk scene.
I love Flea. I think Flea is a great human being.
I thought the Will Ferrell Chad Smith drum off was really funny.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
Chad Smith he's great. He's a great musician. There's a really funny video of him doing like, you know how at the beginning of sporting events someone famous will do the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah.
He does the drums to Star Spangled Banner for an LA Clippers show, and it's my favorite. It's Jimi Hendrix's Star Spangled Banner is here, and then Chad's is way up here. You know, he beats the shit out of the drums. He's like Bonham. He's like really a great musician, man.
Well, you know, he actually does a lot of session music.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't just play for the Red Hot Chili Peppers. He does a lot of session work
When
too.
Nihilist Lebowski.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That
We
was
believe
Flea.
in nothing, Lebowski.
You guys are supposed to be nihilists. Yeah, I loved this album. I am going to listen to it. I'm going to get a copy of it, and I'm going to listen to it in my kitchen when I make breakfast.
I'd also recommend getting Closer and Substance. Substance is a part of the whole thing since it's the singles, but yeah.
Closer is a single, and
No,
Substance.
Closer's the second album.
Closer
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the second album.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is, I think it only has 9 tracks on it.
Yeah.
It's
very
really
good.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
It's even more depressing. It's
Yeah.
Oh no!
yeah. It's like
Oh no!
Oh no.
it's like imagine like there's some higher energy number on it, but it leans much more towards like I Remember Nothing.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a desperate song, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were, for a very short-lived band, they were very tight. Like with their whatever they did. So yeah, it's a good album, but it's like you said, more depressing.
Yeah. I do remember one time I caught myself singing Isolation from that album, and like in the back at work, which was like, you know, just like suddenly like all my coworkers looked at me when I was like,
They're like, "Are
Father,
you okay?
please
You
try
okay,
to
brother?"
forgive me. I'm doing the best that I can. I'm ashamed of the things I've been put through. I'm ashamed of the person I am. What?
That's
Yeah.
lyrics.
Yeah, those are lyrics.
That's lyrics that someone wrote. Jesus Christ!
Apparently, the rest of the band missed that he was suicidal because they weren't paying attention to like the lyrics.
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, dude.
Yeah.
That's.
And that's
I wonder where it would have landed. They're such like they had such intention on this album. You know, I wonder. You know, that's.
Yeah.
Well, I think after this album, some of his health issues really came to light.
Touring.
Because touring.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, epilepsy, light
Yeah.
flashing, cars are crashing. Yeah, so I think a lot of that stuff really
Like,
took him down, and then also his a failing marriage.
yeah. I think if he would have realized the toll touring was taking out of him and retired from music, he'd still be alive today.
He probably would have ended up like Sid Barrett.
Yeah.
It sounds like it gave me LCD Sound System vibes.
Yeah.
Like the vocal kind of delivery of LCD Sound System with the kind of repetitive kind of background. Like LCD Sound System sounds like Disco Joy Division.
It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
Except for occasionally when they sound like Disco Velvet Underground. But yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Who LCD Sound System?
Yeah.
And then Joy Division sounds like really fucking bummed out Velvet Underground.
Yeah.
You know,
They're like they're
yeah.
self-titled Velvet Underground.
yeah. Dark.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool, man.
Like if every song was like Pale
Jesus.
Blue, Jesus or Pale Blue Eyes, but even more depressing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that this has been side 1, side B, and this was Unknown Pleasures by Joy Division. Catch you on the flip side.
Adios.
Time to plug Jacob's butthole.
Oh, we ain't plugging nothing. Keep those fingers. I said keep those fingers away. I said keep those fingers away from me.
All right, Dave, get the Peter Criss record.
Side 1, Side B with Dave and Steve is a Floof Goof Studios production. You can find us on Instagram at KillRockMusicSWS and Dave_Diction. You can find us on Bluesky at KillRockMusic and Beastmaster General. Check out our musical projects, The Alliterates and Lucid Fugue, on all major streaming platforms, and links to each at my website, killrockmusic.com. That's KILRAVOCK music.com. This also includes my past projects, Megaton and Valley of Shadows, and my current solo project, Kill Rock. You can also find Dave's past project, Gong Farmer, at GONGFERMOUR.bandcamp.com. Thanks.
Everyone we worked with is dead.
Really rip.
I need to change my pants.
Check.
Check. Leonard Bernstein.
I hate it so much I skipped the whole Destroyer.
Allow me to play you out.
Dirty Dave just pooped his pants.
Yes, indeed.
Perfect hooker murdering song.
Kick out the jazz, motherfucker!
Are you ready? Steve's got some cheese.
Get my podcast boys ready to go.
Jaw Wobble. What a name.
I'm Ivan Moody, and I'm having a psychotic break.
Testicules.
That is a fun fact.
There's a jazz hole.
What do you mean the song is called Sweet Pea?
Now that we're done with Steve's Rorschach test, let's talk about the album.
For fuck's sake.
That's not very Zizian of you guys. It's a professional operation over here.
This is Fantasia for people who had to repeat the 9th grade.
Heavy metal.
Yeah, hands off, Britain. We'll dump it in the sea again.
Shove it!